Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
A helicopter crashes into New York City's East River, killing 5 people on board. The pilot is the only survivor. I'm Helena in New York with the latest on the investigation.
And it was a big weekend for politics in Montana. Former Vice President Joe Biden spoke to Democrats in Helena, and former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke spoke to Republicans in Billings. What each had to say, that's all coming up.
We'll have those stories in a moment. Meantime, our top national story this morning: 5 of the 6 people on board a helicopter that crashed into the water in New York City have died.
Now, witnesses report seeing the propellers stop mid-air just before the chopper dropped. CBS's Helena is in New York, where investigators are still trying to figure out how that happened.
This is cell phone video showing the moment the helicopter, being used for a photo shoot, crashed into New York City's East River. Police say 2 people were pronounced dead at the scene. 3 others were taken to the hospital in critical condition, later died. A 6th person, the pilot, is the sole survivor. Rescuers say he managed to free himself and was picked up by a tugboat.
Someone climbed out of the helicopter and then was on top of the yellow raft, screaming help and waving his arms like this.
Zerly Motel, mayday, mayday, mayday. East River, engine failure.
You can hear the pilot on the distress call saying mayday. A few seconds later, he uses the words engine failure.
I saw the propellers kind of stop, but it looked almost like it was supposed to land for a second, like it was making an emergency water landing, but within literally a minute, it was completely submerged.
Firefighters say the chopper went down in 50 feet of water in frigid temperatures, contributing to a very challenging rescue.
One of the most difficult parts of the operation, we're told, is the 5 people besides the pilot were all tightly harnessed. So these harnesses had to be cut and removed in order to get these folks off of this helicopter, which was upside down at the time and completely submerged.
The National Transportation Safety Board is heading up the investigation to determine what exactly caused the crash. Helena, CBS News.
Now, that helicopter was owned by Liberty Helicopters. The company offers both private charters and sightseeing tours for tourists. Oof.
We'll continue to update more coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning. Right now, Matt steps in to join us. Cold temperatures, good news right now around southwest Montana.
Yeah, so one of our main concerns over the course of the next few days, temperature's going to be warm. That means we're going to be melting a lot of this snow. That snow's got to go someplace, and the ground's still frozen, so it's not going down. It's coming across some of these roads. We do have some advisories out as far as flooding is concerned. Our temperatures this morning helping us out with temperatures below the freezing mark. Skies are clear, which means our daytime highs should bounce up into the 40s for the afternoon today. I don't think we're going to see much in the form of rain or snow in the next couple of days. In fact, our temperatures will be warming up pretty significantly. We'll talk more about that, of course, coming up. And your flooding concerns, that's coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Now 6:33 on this Monday. Former Vice President Joe Biden was in Helena this weekend as the keynote speaker of Montana Democrats' big annual fundraiser, the Mansfield Metcalf Dinner. Now, Biden delivered a lengthy talk on how Democrats can repair the political fabric of America. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, he wasn't the only speaker who brought the partisan crowd to its feet on Saturday night.
Biden wasted no time Saturday night giving his take on what's gone wrong with politics in the age of Trump.
Today, our politics is broken. It's become so mean-spirited. It's become crass. It's become demeaning. And quite frankly, it's beneath the dignity of the American people. And this is not just a speech. I mean this. It's beneath the dignity of a great people.
But he also returned many times to a theme that President Trump has emphasized himself, that the middle class of America is getting left behind.
You know, there used to be a basic bargain in America, shared by Democrats and Republicans, that if you contributed to the success of an enterprise you worked with, you got to share in the benefits. That's broken, man.
Biden said Republicans are undoing that promise by passing their huge tax cut for the wealthy, creating deficits that can be cured only by slashing programs that maintain the middle class, such as Social Security and Medicare. Biden is seen as a possible challenger to Trump in 2020. But he mentioned Trump by name only once in his 55-minute speech. That wasn't the case, however, with Montana Governor Steve Bullock, also mentioned as a possible presidential candidate in 2020. Bullock took dead aim at the president Saturday, listing off what he called an almost daily helping of scandals and embarrassments engulfing the president.
And mocks his own attorney general for doing his job, calling him Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo? Come on! We try to teach our kids to be honest and respectful of others. Yet we're becoming so desensitized that we expect less of our president than we do of our preschoolers.
Bullock won re-election in 2016, but his victory has been a lonely outpost of electoral success for Montana Democrats in the past few years. Biden gave Montana Democrats their message loud and clear. Stand up for the middle class and human dignity and carry that to victory in 2018. Now, in the coming months, they'll see if that strategy is the one that works. Mike Dennison, MTN News, Helena.
Mike tells us a sold-out crowd of 1,300 people attended the event at the county fairgrounds in Helena on Saturday.
And former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke spoke in Billings on Friday night. Clarke supports the Trump administration's view on illegal immigration. He's been critical of Black Lives Matter, and he backs the Second Amendment. MTN's David J. reports on Clarke's speech to the Yellowstone County Republicans.
David Clarke meets supporters before the Lincoln Reagan Day dinner, and during his speech he praised those running for public office.
Somebody's got to step up to serve, and that's what it is. It's service. Oftentimes, too many people see it as more than service. They overstay their welcome.
He says he plays smash-mouth politics when he is criticized unfairly for his view on some of the issues.
When I hear some of the slanderous names, the mischaracterization of you folks, conservatives, Republicans, as racist, misogynist, homophobes, you know as well as I do that's all BS.
And Clarke recognized veterans in law enforcement. He started his career with the Milwaukee Police Department in 1978 and was elected Milwaukee County Sheriff in 2002, serving in law enforcement for almost 40 years.
There's no higher honor than to wear the uniform of your nation in the military, or to wear the uniform of your community in law enforcement, to go out and protect and serve.
He says the swamp, the deep state, and career bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. are thwarting President Trump's vision.
We go to Congress, we go to the state legislators, and we try to win an argument and convince enough people that these are the policies that this country should be moving toward. That's dissent, that's healthy, and it keeps people honest. There's a difference between that and resistance, outright defiance of the rule of law and of the people that you and I elected, especially in the White House.
Clarke talked about the Trump administration with regard to the economy, tax cuts, deregulation, job growth, immigration, and infrastructure.
Donald Trump is a president who cares about every single American. He said in his inaugural address speech that he would always have our back and do what's best for the American people. He will put America first.
David J., MTN News, Billings.
Now, David Clarke retired as sheriff in August of last year, and in September he became a senior advisor and spokesman for America First Action, a super PAC supporting the administration of President Donald Trump. Big weekend for politics, in Montana. No doubt about it. Stay with us. In a moment, we get a more in-depth look at Live from the Divide, the story of the American singer-songwriter performed in front of a live studio audience, and it's a public radio show. More with Doc Wiley and Jason Wickens when we return.
But first, here's Gail King with a look at what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, we have the latest on that deadly tourist helicopter crash in New York City and growing concern about video manipulation technology that can appear to make anyone say or do almost anything. The new effort to separate what's real from what's fake. We'll see you at 7 o'clock on the dot.